Alright everyone, this was a long time coming. Pretty much in anticipation for the ever popular Tsukihime remake, which is coming early next year. I've been pretty fond of the Fate series for a good long while. In fact, I remember starting up on the old school Tsukihime game prior and loving it, especially the art back then anyway, before it got remodeled. And even then, I know it's a different artist on the remake, and the story has been pretty good when I first played it. And I also played through this game, Fate Stay Night, and all its 3 routes. And I even saw Studio Dean's version of the first Fate route, followed by Ufotable's translation or adaptation, for that matter, of Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Field. So this is pretty much me revisiting this game again, but this time on my channel, and I'm pretty excited to play through it because, like I said, I'm a little impatient and I can't wait for a remake to come out soon enough. But until then, this game will be the one to tide us over, as well as myself. So if anything, hope you all enjoyed this one and join me on this because it's gonna be a fun ride. So let's do this. It was a thrust like lightning. A spearhead thrust to pierce my heart. Trying to dodge it would be useless. Being lightning, it's invisible to the human eye. But the lightning that tries to pierce me is repelled by the moonlight that tries to save me. A beautiful sound. No, the sound before me is heavier than steel. The armor she's wearing is not beautiful at all, and as unrefined as the Code Knight. The sound wasn't beautiful at all. It was actually the sound of steel. It's just that the knight is beautiful enough to turn it into a charming sound like a bell.
とう、あなたが私のマスターか。
She asks in a voice that lights up the darkness.
召喚に従い参上した。これより我が剣はあなたと共にあり、あなたの運命は私と共にある。ここに契約は完了した。
Yes, the contract has been completed. When she chose me as her master, I'm sure I swore to help her too. The moonlight still lights up the darkness. As if following the knight's example, the shed again falls silent. Time has stopped. The scene lasts less than a second. But I'll remember this scene vividly, even when I've gone to hell. The face slightly turned. The quiet green eyes. The instant becomes an eternity. The blue outfit symbolizing her sways in the wind. A faint blue light filters in. The golden hair shines in the moonlight. This is a story from 10 years ago. I'm watching someone I know very well. A tall man with a deep-featured face who, to my knowledge, has never told a joke, is patting my head. No, that's not quite right. I guess he doesn't know how much strength to use. So to be more accurate, he's grabbing my head and mashing it around. I guess that's only to be expected. After all, that's the first time he's ever patted my head.
それでは行くが、後のことは分かっているな。
I answered the deep voice with a polite yes. The man patting my head nods once, lets go, and stands up. So that was it. If I'd known then that it was our final moment together, I would have made him laugh with my best jokes. I practiced telling jokes a lot and hoped that I could bring a smile to his grave face. I guess you could say I was sad that I couldn't tell many of them.
成人するまでは教会に貸しを作っておけ。それ以後の判断はお前に任せる。
Oh, didn't mean to skip that. Even though he said such things, I guess he was still worried. He told me about the heirloom jewels, the jewels inherited from the master, and how to manage the basement. As he was telling me all the things I didn't yet know, I realized even as a child that most likely he wouldn't be coming back. A war had started. Not a war between countries, but a war between people. But the only ones at war were 7 people. In a situation like this, the word war should be unsuitable. But here it's a different story, as the ones in conflict are magi. The 7 magi, each from a different faction, had started to compete for unknown reasons and killed each other in unknown ways. The man standing before me was one of them. He too was in a position to kill or be killed. He must have known more keenly than I did that his time was near.
リン、いずれ聖杯は現れる。あれを手に入れるのは当坂の義務であり、何より魔術師であろうとするのなら避けては通れない道だ。
Once more, he patted my head and left. That was the end. That was the last time I saw the man who entered the Holy Grail War as a master and died. The man who was my teacher as well as my father. Man, I forgot how much I love
いってらっしゃいませ、お父様。
this, what do you call it, the soundtrack, as well as the voice acting is just incredible. I see him off politely. I knew I was on the verge of crying, but I shed no tears. I loved him. He was a great father and a great magus. Among magi, there are only obstinate people. In the whole world, I don't think anyone had a better character than his. He taught me as a teacher and loved me as a father. That's why I decided to choose my path according to what he left me in the end.
リン、いずれ聖杯は現れる。あれを手に入れるのは当坂の義務であり、何より魔術師であろうとするのなら避けては通れない道だ。
In the end, he left me those words as a magus and not as a father. That is why at that moment my path was determined.
よし、それじゃあ一つ気合い入れて一人前になりますか。
It's only natural for a student to follow the words of their teacher. Since then, through many twists and turns, I, Tosaka Rin, have matured. It's been 10 years since the winter days on which my father went to war. I haven't exactly been waiting for this moment, but I am excited. That's only natural. The event I have never forgotten about is about to start. Something is ringing.
うるさい。止まれ。
The sound doesn't stop. It rings loudly as if I'm an enemy.
はいよ、もう。昨日は遅くまでやってたんだから。もうちょっと。
See, I have to be careful because since I don't understand Japanese, there are times when I don't know when to click to continue and accidentally interrupt them, or do I just wait? So like I always keep my hands away from the mouse and just let them talk, and then even after the pause, I wait a little bit more just to make sure, because I already messed up once. I'm trying not to. It should let me sleep in a bit longer. No, it has to let me sleep in. I was deciphering my father's will until early this morning, and I've used up too much magical energy. In other words, my mind and body are dead tired.
もう融通の利かないやつ。
The alarm clock doesn't speak my language. So why does the ringing sound like it's telling me you're going to be late?
遅刻はまずい。
Though that depends on the situation. I'm a good student, but maybe I can get to school at the last moment just for today.
そうそう。あらかじめ30分ずらして目覚ましをセットしたんだから、あと30分は眠れるはず。
Huh? Isn't that strange?
30分ずらして？
I look at the alarm clock drowsily. The clock is pointing exactly at 7. I usually get up at 6:30, so the spare 30 minutes have already been used up. Oh, why can't I think when I wake up? I stare at the alarm clock for several seconds. Shutting off, I decide to get out of bed. the happy music once again. Passing through the cold hallway, I enter the cold living room. I also forgot that she essentially lives alone. Up until, she garners more help, if you will. To the uninitiated, anyway. It's 7 o'clock on the last day of January. For Yuki City, it's usually pretty warm in the winter, but this morning it's as cold as any other city. I can even see my breath indoors, and on top of that, there's no one else in the house to warm it up.
暖房暖房。
Turning on the heater, I head to the bathroom. At times like this, living on your own is inconvenient. If there was someone to wake up before me, the living room would be warm by now. I wash my face at the sink. I brush my long hair and get ready. A cold morning, a cold sink. The only advantage is that the cold water clears your sleepiness completely. I tie my ribbon and I'm all ready. All I have to do is eat breakfast and head out. Looking at the clock, it's only a bit past 7, and I'm a bit disappointed.
なんだ、これなら走っていく必要もないか。
Ooh, almost spoke her own lines. Then again, I would never do anything as clumsy as running to school anyway. It is the custom of the Tosaka family to act with composure and elegance at all times. Taking a custom like that seriously must mean that my family originated from a very high-class background indeed. Owning this old Western-styled mansion is proof of that, and on top of it, the Tosaka family is a bloodline of sorcerers able to use the power of magic. If you're talking about age, our family has an ancient history.
まあ自慢できることでもないんだけど。
Actually, I can't speak openly about it at all. Oh, by the way, I, Tosaka Rin, am a magus. Who on earth can I brag to like that? Magic is just what it sounds like. Magic. I don't care if you get ideas like abracadabra or whatever. You can just think of us as people who do strange things by casting spells. Though it's not like we fly around on brooms or make stars appear with a wave of a wand. Well, we could do that, but we don't bother as it's kind of meaningless. We're basically heretics who hide ourselves from the world. We're prohibited from standing out, and even if we weren't, we would rather be at home studying magic. On top of that, the word sorcerer is completely inaccurate. To be precise, there are only 5 sorcerers in the world. Things no one can do, things beyond the ability of modern science, the ones who can make such miracles are the ones we call sorcerers. Miracles that can never be achieved, regardless of time or effort, those we call sorcery. Those things that are mysterious but achievable with time and effort, those we call magic. That's why what I do is called magic rather than sorcery. It's complicated, but that's how it is, so just accept it. Okay, yeah, just like that. To be honest, the modern world doesn't recognize the existence of magi. As we believe control and learn things that are immeasurable, our existence is incompatible with the modern world, because it's kind of meaningless. Going to a normal school and becoming a normal adult will bring you far more happiness than studying magic. Human technology is great. In the past few hundred years, it has been leading the way ahead of magic. Nothing is impossible for humans. The miracles once only possible through magic are now tools and not miraculous at all. Still, magic has its good points. Just as there are things possible only through science, there are also things only possible only through magic. It was the master of the Tosaka family who said that if science is moving toward the future, magic is moving toward the past. Something about the past and the future ending up at the same place, everything always running toward the 0 point. Let's put off all these difficult discussions. They should wait until we're old. Finishing breakfast, I grab my bag.
そうだ、ペンダント持っていかないと。
I don't really want to take the thing to school, but it'd be a waste just to leave it here.
何しろ100年ものの石だものね。うちにある宝石の中じゃダントツで最強だし。
Well, yep, that's gonna be important later, fellas. No, that's an understatement. It's much stronger than that. I found this after decoding Father's will last night. It contains the equivalent of 10 years of my magical energy. It was said to be an heirloom, and this might well be it. We, the Magi at Tosaka, are skilled at the transformation of power. We put our magical energy into jewels whenever we have free time. To put it simply, the jewels are bullets, and we are the gun. The only other thing I can say I received from my father is the magic crest that the Tosaka family engraved on my left arm. In essence, this is the proof of the successor, and it's like a tattoo that condenses all the inherited magic of the Tosaka family.
まだ始まったわけじゃないけど、用心に越したことはないか。
Put the pendant, which can now be said to be my father's memento, into my pocket.
切り札だものね。これに秘められた魔力ならできないことはないぐらいなんだし。
It's 7:30. I should get going or I'll be late for school.
シュミスフィアファレントライ。
I weave my words with magical energy quickly. Being a magus, I can't let my guard down when leaving my house. Even though there's never been a single robber or wandering child nor a stray cat. And I don't think my neighbor has ever come to say hello either.
別にいいけどね。野良猫でさえ入ってこないってどういうことよ。
I look up at the mansion I've grown so accustomed to over the years. Fuyuki is certainly a strange city with many Western-style houses on this side of town and an area full of Japanese-styled houses just beyond the intersection. I guess it's because many foreign families came to live here a long time ago, but even so, I don't see many foreigners around here now. There's a foreigner cemetery in the new city across the river, but it only has the graves of the first generation of families.
日本の土が合わなかったのかな。
I'll go to the church and ask the priest sometime. He knows about lots of boring things.
あれ？
Stepping outside, I feel a certain incongruity.
なんだろう。思ったより静かなんですけど。
It's especially quiet with no sense of the morning's noisiness. At 7:30, the street should be filled with students going to school and people going to work.
まあ、こういう日もあるか。
Perhaps everyone slept in today. It's unusually cold, so I bet everyone's still wrapped up in their warm beds.
けどさすがに。
It's strange that I haven't even seen one student so far. At 7:30, you can usually see people in uniform here and there. But I'm the only person at the school gates, and it looks like the clubs are just starting their morning practice. In other words, the only explanation is...
あれ、遠坂？今朝は一段と早いのね。
やっぱりそうきたか。
With a small sigh, I turned to the girl who addressed me.
おはよう。今日も寒いね、こりゃ。
This girl speaking so frankly is Mitsuzuri Ayako. Oh man, I said that pretty bad. Let's try that again. Mitsuzuri Ayako. There you go. She's my classmate in class 2A, and there are a lot of stories about her.
おはよう、みつづりさん。つかぬことを聞くけど、今何時だかわかる？
ん？何時って7時前じゃない。遠坂寝ぼけてる？
She waves her hand in front of me, wondering if I'm alright. She is one of the few friends who knows I am not a morning person. In other words, she thinks I'm not fully awake yet.
うちの時計1時間早かったみたい。しかも軒並み。
To all the fellow drinkers out there, how many times we should drink to how many times, in other words, is uttered in this in this BN, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be multiple times.
目覚まし時計はおろか柱時計まできっかり早まってた。
Really? Just what's going on here? Did father arrange for all the clocks to go mad when the pendant was removed from the basement?
遠坂、
気にしないで、別に大したことじゃないから。それより三辻さんは今日も朝練？
ええ、弓道部は問題児も多いし、うまいのが一人減ったからね。4月の新入生獲得のために少しぐらいは見栄えを良くしとかないと。
そう、気苦労が絶えないのね、相変わらず。
他人事だからって言ってくれるわ。あ、ついでだから見ていく？遠坂が見学する分には男どもも喜ぶけど。
弓道部か。
I have three acquaintances in the archery club. One is Ayako, the person before me right now, and the other two are people I barely talk to. And for one of those two, the word acquaintance doesn't really suffice. I became friends with Ayako because I had been watching the archery club from afar.
そうね、様子を見るだけなら付き合うわ。早く来すぎたからやることもないし。
よし、じゃあ善は急げ。早速行こう。
The impressive archery range is one of our school's outstanding aspects. Perhaps the director is just interested in archery, but the range is much too fancy for a mere school club.
ほらほら、まだ開始まで時間があるし、中でお茶しようぜ、遠坂。
Happy about something, Ayako drags me in by the hand. It's a bad habit of hers. She talks like a guy when she's expressing her true feelings. As Ayako said, there's no one in here. While sipping hot tea, we prepare for today's class. The tea tastes really good in this open winter environment.
さて、単刀直入に聞くけど、そっちの調子はどうなのよ、遠坂。いい加減頼りになる相棒は見つかった？
So, as there's no one else around, Ayako comes straight out and asks me a ridiculous question.
ほんと、いきなり本題に入るのね、あなたは。その言いぶりだと、そっちはもう見つけたんだ。
ノーコメント。遠坂が手を沸かすまではこっちも秘密さ。で、どうなのよ。その疲れた顔を見ると脈ありって感じだけど。
こっちもノーコメント。ってあなたに隠してもどうせ見抜かれるか。残念ながらこっちはまだよ。綾子の方はお互いのんびりしてる余裕はないはずだけど。
そうなんだけど、私も雲行きは怪しいわ。とりあえず取り繕うことはできるけど、ことがことでしょ。この先の命運がかかってるんだから妥協するわけにもいかないし。
勝手に決めて私に負けるのも嫌？
もちろん。私にとって重要なのはあんたを任すことだもの。何が手に入るとか何を手に入れるとかは二の次よ。
She laughs boldly.
似た者同士ね、私たち。
I always liked Ayako though. She was a cool, I was gonna say she's a cool friend, but from Tosaku's point of view, she was just, you know, a quote-unquote acquaintance. But it seems like they're on a pretty good friendly terms, you know? But, I don't know. Tosaka was always an odd one, but I always liked her.
ええ、初めて会った時に言ったでしょ。あんたとはそういう関係にあるんだって。
Yes, she did indeed. I was certainly surprised when at our first meeting, she said we'll probably end up with a kill-or-be-killed relationship. Or in other words, unless we go all out against each other, we'll never really be friends. I agreed with her on that, and that's why we've had a friend-or-foe relationship for 2 years.
ところでさ、私たちなんでこんな話してるんだっけ？
なんでって言い出したのは遠坂でしょ。あんたがいつまでも彼氏がいないのは女としてどうよなんてこぼすもんだから、なら3年になる前にどっちが先に男作るかって勝負になったんじゃない。
ああ、そうだった。売り言葉に買い言葉ってやつだった。で、遅れを取った方が一日言いなりになるんだっけ？
ええ、今時子供でも交わさない約束だけど、あんたと私に限って往生際が悪いってことはないでしょ。どんな結果になろうと負けた方はおとなしく勝者に従うことになる。それを思うと私は今から楽しみで楽しみで。
Ayako laughs. Honestly, she's so serious about this. Mitsuzuri Ayako is such a difficult person to deal with. Though I can't wait to beat Ayako either, so neither of us are people you want to deal with.
そう。けど三辻さん、楽しむのは結構だけど、目的を違えないよう気をつけなさい。勝負の内容は後先だけじゃないでしょ。
分かってるって。遠坂より早く遠坂が心底羨ましがるような関係にならないと完全勝利とは言えないからね。まあ私たちにとってはそれが一番厄介な問題なんだが、どんなにいい男だろうと好きになれなきゃ意味がない。
Ayako sighs heavily. To my knowledge, Mitsuzuri Ayako is said to hate men. Rumors are never to be trusted, however. As she suggested this match rather than hating men, I think she just didn't have a chance. But that aside.
ちょっと、私たちって何よ、私たちって。断っておきますけど、私はそっちと違って冷血感じゃありません。男の子を好きになるなんて問題でも何でもないわ。
ああ、それ嘘。もしくは気づいていないだけ。遠坂が男を気にかけるなんてことは絶対ないもの。今まで数えきれないぐらい告白されたくせに一つも色良い返事してないじゃない。少しでも興味があるなら付き合おうって思うでしょ。なのに断り続けるってことはあんたは男に興味がないってことよ。
See, even before knowing what goes on in this series, I always thought that Tosaka was always the kind of person that already knew what she wanted, hence the reason why she declined all those offers, besides the typical classic anime tropes of all the guys hitting on the girl or sending them love letters that, and they never take them for real because, that's just how it always was. But with Tosaka, I always believed that she just knew who she was and knew what she wanted. And then it shows.
発想が貧困ね。その場合、すでに好きな相手がいるから断ってるって話もありじゃない？
うわ、すっごい美談。いいね、そういうの。ロマンだな。
Ayako nods seriously, not making fun of me. I will say this, again, to those that haven't really watched or seen this series at all. Not much of a spoiler really, but I will say I wish they did more with Ayako. Like, I wish she had more of a role because she's such a cool character too. Her side says, wouldn't it be nice if that was the case? Jeez, I really can't keep anything from her.
そうね。私もそう思う。
Well, it's exactly as she says. I know myself, how cold I am.
認めるわ。私、こと恋愛に関しては素人みたい。
そういうこと。似た者同士だって言ったの遠坂でしょ。ってもうじき7時か。秘密の話はこの辺にしとこう。いつ人がやってくるかわからないし、朝になったら学生らしく振る舞わないとな。
まあ、三辻さんにもそういう世間体があったなんて意外だわ。ええ、これだけでも早起きした甲斐があったみたい。
あんたほど筋金入ってないけどね。私の世間体なんて遠坂凛に比べたら灯籠の斧ってもんよ。あんたの猫っかぶりは 擬態っていうより別人格のレベルよ。別人格。
Ayako gives an exaggerated sigh. Both of the teas she made are now empty, and it's my turn to make it.
で、遠坂はどうして部活に入らないのよ。運動神経がないなんてざれ言は聞かないからね。私は去年の体力測定でことごとくあんたに負けたのまだ恨んでるんだから。
あら、肺活量では三辻さんに負けたわよ、私。あと体重も三辻さんのが上だったけど。
やったー、重さで3キロ上回ったって体重で勝っても嬉しくないってのよ、このタヌキ。
Ayako slams on the table.
危ない、お茶がこぼれるでしょ、三辻さん。首相なんだから道場は大事になさい。
うるさい。私は首相である前に遠坂のライバルだ。部員がいなけりゃあんたに食ってかかるのは当然よ。
Ayako looks at me with narrowed eyes. This girl has her own sense of beauty, and she always says beautiful people have to do some kind of martial arts. She's a bold person, experienced in most martial arts. She joined the archery club with no experience and is now the captain as if it were only natural. She's probably one of the top 3 people in the school you should never disobey regardless of gender.
あら、部員がいなければ首相じゃないなんて問題発言じゃない？それ
問題発言なもんですか。私はお飾りの首相だから、できることって言ったら不良部員を取り締まることだけよ。私以上にしゃが立派なやつがいるんだから、首相としての面目なんてないわ。
そうなの？藤村先生、三辻さんは飛び抜けてうまいって言ってたけど。
あの人がそう言うんならそりゃ少しは自信が持てるけど、まあいなくなっちまったやつのことなんて考えても仕方ないか。そうね、藤村先生がそう言ってくれたんなら真面目に首相やんないとまずいか。
そうそう、噂をすれば影。そろそろ部員がやってくる頃でしょ。私はおいとまするけど、三辻さんはきちんと首相になりなさい。
何、見ていかないの？シャ。
見てもわからないもの。遠くから眺める分にはいいけどね。不心得者が道場にいるわけにはいかないでしょ。
Just as I rise, someone enters the range.
おはようございます、首相。
ああ、おはようマト。今朝は一人？
はい、力になれず申し訳ありません。
ああ、いいっていいって。本人が弓をやらないって言うんなら無理をさせても仕方がない。
Ayako addresses the club member who just entered.
それじゃあ失礼するわ。また後でね、三辻さん。
ああ、また後でね、遠坂。
お疲れ様です、遠坂先輩。ありがとう。さくらもしっかりね。
I leave the range trying not to interrupt them.
やあ、遠坂。おはよう。朝から君に会えるなんてついてるな。
Oh, I remember not liking him. Bad luck. I've run into someone I don't want to see.
おはよう、マトくん。今日は早いのね。
当たり前だろ。首相なんだから早めに来ないと1年に示しがつかないじゃないか。
This smiling guy is Mato Shinji of Class 2C. He's the vice captain of the archery club and owner of the hearts of half the girls in this school. Kind of an idol, good looking, good grades, sociable, and kind to girls. I'm not too well informed in such areas, so I've only heard all this from my classmates. Yep, exactly. Never believe the rumors, never believe the hype.
そう。ご機嫌なところ悪いんだけど、一文字抜けてるわ、マトくん。大事な字だから忘れない方がいいと思うけど。
一文字抜けてるって何がさ？
幸福の福。字は違うけど響きは一緒でしょ、副首相さん。気をつけなさい。別に首相も副首相も変わらないけど、変に意識するとこだわってるみたいに聞こえるでしょ。
そうだね。今後は気をつける。ありがとう、遠坂。
お礼を言われるようなことはしてないけど、まあマト君がそう思ったのなら私には関係ないか。
Bidding him goodbye, I leave the range.
ちょっと待てよ。見学に来たんだろ？なら見ていけばいいじゃないか。遠坂なら大歓迎だよ。
遠慮するわ。練習の邪魔をしたくないもの。
そんなの構わないよ。他の連中が気に障るんなら締め出すからさ。ちょっと寄っていけって。
だから邪魔をする気はないって言ってるでしょ。それに私別に弓道に興味があるわけじゃないから。知らないやつのシャを見ても嬉しくないわ。
なんだよ遠坂、弓道に興味はなかったのか。へえ、だっていうのに放課後になると遠くから見てたのはそういうわけかな。
I don't know what he thinks the reason was, but he's undoubtedly making a big misunderstanding.
なんだ、知ってたの、マト君。
ああ、よく目があったんだぜ、僕と遠坂。社を終えてさ、斬新の時に限って遠坂は僕を見ていたろ。声を返したかったけど一応決まりでね、車上では声を上げちゃいけないんだ。
As if happy about something, Shinji moves in closer to me. His smile carries a sense of superiority.
勘違いしてたよ。遠坂は弓が好きなんだと思ってたけど、弓道には興味がないんだろ。ならなんで遠坂は道場を見ていたのかな。
Not for you, sir. Oh, I see now. Yes, the conversation could certainly have been taken that way.
離れてくれないかしら、マト君。私あまり人に近寄られるのは好きじゃないし。
なに遠坂。
呆れた。ここまで言ってもわからないのね。趣味じゃないけど仕方ないか。簡単にあなたにも理解できるように言ってあげる。いい、マト君。私は弓道に興味がない以上にあなたに興味はないって言ってるのよ。実際あなたが車上にいたなんて今初めて知ったぐらいだし、きっとこれからも目に入らないわ。
And burn. Look at that.
なんだと。
As if I've angered him, he reaches out for me violently. I easily avoid it and turn my back on him. Good job. Good job.
それじゃあね、マト君。自意識過剰なのも結構だけど、ほどほどにしておいた方がいいわよ。
遠坂、お前。
He sounds like he wants to say more, but it doesn't seem like he's gonna scream or come after me. Geez, he really is all show. If he was just a little bit more mature, he wouldn't be so much trouble for the people around him. From the back of the school where the archery range is based, I enter the school building. It's past 7, but I can't see anyone in the hallway.
あれ、遠坂さんだ。
おはようございます、藤村先生。
おはよう、遠坂さん。ちゃんと挨拶してくれて先生は嬉しいよ。
The strange woman seems to be crying a happiness. It's hard to believe, but this person of surpassing friendliness and cheerfulness is a teacher at this school.
先生、ちゃんと挨拶をする以外にする挨拶があるのでしょうか？
あるわよ。
1年生はちゃんと挨拶してくれるんだけどね、上級生になってくると私の名字で挨拶しないんだから。
はあ、よくわかりませんけど、先生に失礼なことはしませんが。
よしよし。ああ、みんながみんな遠坂さんみたいだったらいいのにな。
Fujimura sensei waves goodbye and leaves. Fortunately, she isn't my homeroom teacher. Fujimura sensei teaches English. She has such a kind face, but she also has a black belt in kendo, and I hear she was respected as the Tiger of Fuyuki in her student days. Though that's a bit strange. Wouldn't a tiger normally be feared, not respected? Apparently in a good mood, Fujimura sensei heads for the archery range. For some reason, she's in charge of the archery club and not the kendo club. It's almost 7:30. I can see a few students doing club activities outside, but there's no sign of anyone in the school building. But still.
遠坂
I bump into someone who greets me rudely.
あら、生徒会長。こんな朝早くから校舎の見回り？それとも各部室の手入れかしら？どっちでもいいけど相変わらず豆ね、そういうとこ。
そういうお前こそ何を企んでいる。部活動もしていないお前がこんな早くに何の用か。
ただの気まぐれよ。竜斗くんちみたいに早起きじゃないもの、私。
The student president makes an unhappy face. For some reason, I seem to be his enemy. I really don't know why. Perhaps it's just because I said skip the temples, they're boring, in a meeting to plan for the field trip.
一つ聞いておくが、最近夜遅くまで校舎にいたことはあるか、遠坂。
ないわね。私が帰宅部だって知ってるでしょ、竜斗くんは。
This guy is also cool. I mean, his little, I guess, apprehensiveness towards Tosaka is a bit odd, but then again, the one thing about him is that he stays at a what is it, a monastery or a temple? He stays somewhere, and he's very keen on what you call characters with, I guess, magic or senses. That's why he's a little. I think that's one of the reasons why he's like very cautious around Tosaka.
当然だ。生徒会長を任された以上、全校生徒の情報は把握している。
そう。なら私に聞くまでもないでしょ。なんだってそんなことを聞くか知らないけど、生徒会の仕事を部外者に押し付けちゃまずいんじゃない？情報収集は一人でやりなさいよ。私みたいな部外者に頼らないで。
たわけ、お前のどこが部外者だ。うちの会計の首根っこ掴んで悪さをしたのを知らぬと思ったが、このめぎつれ。
あら、人聞きが悪いわね。あれは三辻さんに頼まれて部費の割合を明らかにしただけでしょ。みんなの予算がどこに使われているか調べるなんて生徒として当然の行為だと思うけど。
なんと、うちの会計を1週間休ませた精神的ダメージが当然の行為なのか。とんでもない倫理観をお持ちのようだな、相変わらず。
あなたもね、部下の手綱ぐらいちゃんと握ってなさい。文化系ばかりひいきするのはフェアじゃないわ。
分かっている。だからこそ俺の手で不正を正したかったのだが。
伊勢、修理終わったぞ。
And then, a guy appears who I didn't expect to find here.
と、悪い。頼んだのはこっちなのに、エミヤに任せっきりにしてしまった。許せ。
そんなこと気にするな。で、次はどこだよ。あんまり時間ないぞ。
ああ、次は視聴覚室だ。前から調子が悪かったそうなんだが、この度ついに天寿を全うされた。
天寿全うしてたら直せないだろ。買い直した方が早いぞ。
そうなんだが、一応見てくれると助かる。俺から見れば臨終だが、お前から見れば仮病かもしれん。
そうか。なら試そう。
The student president leaves with the male student. You block his name. My thoughts have stopped at this sudden event. The guy with wrenches and spanners in hand turns back as if remembering something.
朝早いんだな、遠坂。
And with that, he leaves. Was that supposed to be a greeting? The student whom the president called Emiya leaves quickly. Emiya. That would be Emiya Shiro from Class 2C.
それはいいんだけどさ。
How can I put it? I just think it's hard to tell whether a guy who looks at home holding a wrench is useful or scary. It's 7:30 in the morning and there's no one in Class 2A.
仕方ない。予習でもしてよ。
I sit at my desk and work on a few math problems. There's 30 minutes until homeroom. I guess I'll just be bored until my classmates arrive. That's one way to handle class. Fourth period ends and the noisy lunch break begins. Our school has a cafeteria, but half the students stay in the classroom. Actually, most of the ones who stay are girls. The cafeteria food is rather roughly made, so girls tend to dislike it, and as a result...
遠坂さん、よかったらお昼ご飯一緒に食べませんか？
Girls end up eating lunch together like this.
ありがとう、三枝さん。けどごめんなさい。私今日は学食なんです。今朝は寝過ごしてしまってお弁当を作る余裕がなかったものですから。あ、いや、そうなんですか。ごめんなさい。そうとも知らず呼び止めてしまって。私、余計なことしましたね。
She's popular all over, huh? Saigusa-san looks downcast as if apologizing. She's the one of the calmest in the class full of calm students and a kind person who cares about me for some reason.
余計なことだなんてそんなことはありません。今日はたまたまだから気にしないで。また明日これに懲りず声をかけてください。
I smile at her from the bottom of my heart.
はい。でも遠坂さんでも寝過ごすことがあるんですね。
My smile must have relaxed her as she returns it with her own. Her smile is cute. Sayagusa Yukika-san is the most beautiful person, but her smile warms the hearts of everyone around her.
ええ、そうなんです。なんとかごまかしてますけど、本当は寝ぼすけなんですよ、私。部活だって朝起きられないから入ってないんです。
Sayagusa-san's expressions reveal her surprise. Her presence really relaxes me, but I can't just have fun talking. If I keep talking to people like this, I'm bound to reveal my true self.
それじゃあ食堂に行ってきます。三枝さんもごゆっくり。はい、遠坂さんも。
We exchange a warm goodbye and she returns to her group of girls. It seems she's eating with Makidera-san and Himuro-san. Oh yeah, Sayagusa-san is the manager of the track team. Makidera and Himuro-san are the track team's hopefuls. Makidera is a friend I sometimes go window shopping with, but I don't know Himuro-san that well.
お、振られたね、ゆきっち。だから言ったでしょ。遠坂は弁当持ってこないって。釣りたかったらあいつの分も飯用意しないとね。
See, I remember these side characters from the anime, and they were funny.
マキ、それは私たちも食堂に移動すればいいだけの話では？
ダメダメ、食堂は狭いんだから。弁当組が座れるスペースなんてねっての。それに遠坂と同席してみなさい。男どもの視線がうざいのなんの。前の休みだってさ、2人で遊びに行ったのにあいつだけ得しちゃってさ。やだよね、美人を鼻にかけた優等生は。
Makidera speaks without thinking as the girls surround Sayagusa-san's desk. In contrast to her nasty mouth, she's a Japanese beauty who looks wonderful in a kimono.
牧野氏、君の陰口は遠坂城に聞こえているようだが。
In contrast to Makidera's loudness, Himuro is the cool, steady type.
やべ、遠坂に聞かれた。ゲゲ、めっちゃ睨んでるじゃん、あいつ。
別に遠坂さん、マキちゃんを睨んでなんかないと思うけど。
睨んでんだよ、あれ。あいつは笑ってる時が一番怖いんだから。なんだよ、いいじゃんか口ぐらい。多めに見ろよ。私と遠坂の仲だろ。たい焼きおごってやっただろ。
She waves her chopsticks, puffing out her cheeks. The knowledge that this girl's hobby is collecting wind chimes just shows that the world is far too complex. Anyways, it's not good for Sayagusa-san to keep watching this. She's panicking, seeing Makidera continually talking bad about me.
気にしないでいいのよ、三枝さん。それと牧寺さん、おごらされたのは私で、品物はたい焼きではなくクレープでした。無意識に事実を改ざんする悪癖、次あたりに直さないと考えますよ。
I love the inflection in which she uses when she's speaking so considerately, because you can hear a little bit of malevolence to him too. Like a minor threat, you know, just to show them who's boss.
マジ怖え、あの笑顔。
Makidera hides behind the lid of her lunchbox. Saying goodbye to the three of them, I leave the classroom. I shut the door behind me, and then...
ブー、なんだよ、大差ないじゃんか、たい焼きもクレープも。どっちも甘いの、皮で包んでるんだからさ。
Makidera's words are ones no girl should ever speak.
たい焼きとクレープが同じですって？
Is she really a girl? Are all sweets the same to her? Perhaps she just has a very convenient taste buds, but that can't tell a 500 yen crepe from an 80 yen taiyaki, but why you... I could have saved 420 yen if I just bought you a taiyaki to begin with.
何本気で悔しがってるんだ私。
I guess I'm still tired from last night. The cafeteria would be too much effort, so I'll just get a drink and some bread and eat on the roof. I buy lunch and head for the empty rooftop. It's a nice convenient location as no student would come near it in the wintertime. It's too cold to eat, but that's a small price to pay for being able to eat without worrying about other people.
さて、とりあえずご飯と。
I start on my tomato sandwich and hot lemon drink. It's a simple lunch, but the taste is much improved in this peace and quiet. I finish my sandwich and my hot lemon drink. I'm a bit tired. It's a difficult balance being a good student while trying not to be too social. It's my vanity, no, my conviction that I must be number one both academically and physically. If I'm to be a student, I want to be the best, and it's unthinkable for me to dishonor the Tosaka name. So that's why I'm a perfect student, flawless in all aspects. I also gotta love her opinion of herself too. She can back it up at that. But at the same time, I also have a dangerous job as a magus, so I shouldn't associate with normal people. Normally, any magus whose identity is discovered has no choice but to eliminate the witness. I don't want to do that. So inevitably, my social life has become a shallow one. I only hang out with Makidera on weekends, and I try to refuse invitations from friendly people like Sayagusa-san. Even though I'm the best honor student in the school, I live trying not to become too important to anyone. Though sometimes when I'm tired like this, it makes me think that this life is rather boring.
もう時間か。
I finish my hot lemon drink and stand up. I should stop drowning in sentimentality and go back to being the usual Tosaka Rin once I go down the stairs.
ではホームルームを終了する。日直は日誌と戸締まりの確認を。
Now that's one hell of a scary teacher.
部活動のない生徒は速やかに帰宅するように。
Two-A's homeroom teacher exits after repeating his usual line. As far as I know, this line hasn't changed all year.
遠坂、今日はもうお帰り？
ええ、朝方麻藤君と一件あったし、面倒になる前に帰るわ。
やっぱりそうか。麻藤のやつ、今朝は特に荒れてたからさ。遠坂に手ひどく扱われたんだろうなって思ってた。
Yeah, well, he's a jerk.
そう、迷惑をかけてしまったかしら、三辻さん。
別に麻藤が下級生をいびるのはいつものことだし、あれはあれでいい精神鍛錬になるよ。
そう、よかった。じゃあこの埋め合わせはまた今度。
はいはい、これに懲りずまた寄っていってちょうだい。
I head straight home. Once I leave school, Tosaka Rin is no longer a student. The rest of the day is not for myself as a student. Instead, I must become a magus of the Tosaka family. Back at my house, I'm greeted by the blinking light on my answering machine.
留守電なんて珍しいな。相手はやっぱりあんたか、キレ。
I already know what he's gonna say, but he'll be scary later if I don't listen. When I press the play button, I hear a familiar voice.
私だ。分かっていると思うが、期限は明日までだぞ、リン。あまり悠長に構えられては困る。残る席はあと2つだ。早々にマスターを揃えねばならん。
This priest shows no mercy as he gets right to the point.
マスターの権利を放棄するというのなら、今日中に連絡しろ。予備の魔術師を派遣するにも時間がかかる。
Liar, someone like you would be able to arrange a substitute in no time.
お前にはすでに0時の兆しが現れているのだ。さっさとサーバントを召喚し、0時を開け。もっとも、聖杯戦争に参加しないというのならば話は別だ。命が惜しいのなら、早々に教会に駆け込むがいい。
The message ends there. His words are concise. He's telling me that if I'm to fight, I should get ready by today, and if I'm not gonna fight, I'm an eyesore and should just retire quickly.
言われなくても分かってるわよ。
Well, it can't be helped. Today is as late as the deadline can be extended. Fortunately, I was able to decode Father's will last night. My preparations are ready. All that remains is, yes, obtaining the qualification to enter this fight.
聖杯戦争。たった一つきりの聖杯を奪い合う殺し合い。何百年も前から伝わってきた聖杯の儀式か。
The Magi who participates in the Holy Grail War are called Masters. This is not so much a rank, rather it indicates one who is in control. The requirement to enter the Holy Grail War. That is to summon a familiar called a servant and to form a contract with it. No matter how great a magus a person is, one is not considered a master until he has a servant under him. Servants are beings very different from normal familiars. The methods of summoning and controlling them are different as well. A magus planning to enter the Holy Grail War usually prepares a catalyst to summon one, but...
ほんと、父さんもセイバーにゆかりのものを残してくれればよかったのに。
I don't have anything with any connection. I can summon a servant. If I wanted to, I could summon one right now and form a contract with it. The town's sacred ground is under our jurisdiction. As the daughter of the Tosaka family, which has protected this town through the generations, I will not lose to Magi from elsewhere. But that said, I guess you can't go out to sea without a compass. Or perhaps I should say things are completely unplanned.
サーバントはシンボルによって引き寄せられる。強力なサーバントを呼び出したいのなら、そのサーバントにゆかりのあるものが必要不可欠なのだ。か。
In other words, a sword, armor, talisman, bone of that servant, or something like that. Something valuable beyond belief.
父さんの遺言に期待してたんだけどな。これはこれでものすごい切り札なんだけど。
The pendant I found last night in the basement is one of the best artifacts in its class. It's great in its own way. It's great, but it won't help me summon my servant.
いいわよ。そんなものに頼らなくたってなんとかなるわ。そもそも私以外にセーバーを扱えるマスターなんているはずないし。
I really love her confidence, though. Alright, I've decided. I don't want to make Kirei complain anymore by postponing it any longer, and it's not like me to wait until the last second. It'll come down to just trying it. I'll face the summoning tonight with full power and obtain Saber by force. Alright fellas, I'm gonna end it here for today. Thank you all for watching. So let me tell you all right now, this is a prologue obviously, and it's a pretty slow burn. I think we'll get past it in the next ep if anything, but it's just a setup to the moment we start playing as the main character. Yeah, the one you saw in the beginning, the one with the red hair, and Miyashiro. One of my favorite characters, along with Tosaka Rin and the other cast you'll eventually see. Again, to those that haven't played or seen the anime as of yet, and you all will eventually, especially if you stick around long enough. So this is going to be another long game, guys. So again, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you all for watching.